We were talking about the whole armor of God this week, and verse 15 in Ephesians 6 says, "For shoes, put on the peace that comes from the good news so that you will be fully prepared." It's interesting that the next thing that Paul talks about here are the shoes, because we don't think about the shoes that we wear in battle. But at this time, whenever you would have a battle, many times that city was on a hill because that was the easiest way to protect itself. So as the cities grew, they were harder to protect, but if you were on a hill, they were easier to protect. But if somebody invaded, they had to have the proper shoes because they were always fighting uphill. So these shoes would have spikes on them so they could move forward, not too big of spikes and not too small of spikes. The spikes where they could gain grounding and move further and further. And that's pretty much our walk every day. Our attempt to share the good news, which is known as the gospel, our attempt to share who Jesus is something that we need to make sure that we have the right footing. Because the further we gain ground, the more the devil is going to dislike that. And the thing about it is, the more that we share those things, it's amazing the peace that comes from it. Now, don't get me wrong, over and over we're going to have struggles. And sometimes they're going to be rejected, and there's going to be other times where people are just going to flat out say no, and then we get dejected. But what happens is, we go back to us not guarding the truth. We go back to us believing that the devil says, you know what, you can't do this. And what has happened then is that the armor, we've actually struggled by having that on correctly. This is the whole armor of God. And the shoes are needed so that we can gain ground every day. And when we do that, day by day, with the correct footing, we gain peace from it.